Hopefully things are going well for you guys. As for me, I kind of want to come out with a quick commentary video. Today, I want to go ahead and talk about the current game industry. Now, I was able to evaluate all of the things that have been going on recently while tallying up alongside the things that have been going on in, like, the past couple years, especially 2020, like past couple of years leading up to 2021, our current year. Alright, so yeah, and that includes 2020. But anyway, enough of that shenanigans. Let's keep right on going. I gotta say, things don't look very pleasant. We are looking at the games industry right now stagnating. And not only that, but to a not so very pleasant degree. More games are continuing to get censored and manipulated by political or moral busybodies. More games are getting rushed out to crash and burn. More games are getting players messed up with paywalls and other predatory business practices as a means of trying to get the consumer milked. And yeah, those are the things that I have been mentioning in previous videos. Now we're kind of hit with a new dilemma or two. We are seeing Capcom getting strict with user content that has anything to do with Capcom games. Like, Capcom is no longer tolerating any lewd or sexually explicit fan content, especially fan arts. If you are to make a spicy fan art of Minot of Street Fighter V or do some Waifus of Gaming episode of Rainbow Mika, you are automatically making a gamble and can be copy striked by Capcom. Alright. If you saw one of my news videos back in January 2021, you have heard about the commotion between Galgun and Xbox. Now, if you want a beefier console to run richer games, you're stuck between the two, Sony and Microsoft. Sony has crippled the Japanese games industry in ways, especially that international content policy oh so fucking stupid. Oh so stupidly fucking strict. Alright. Microsoft is trying to copy Sony with what was going on with Galgun, and allegedly attempted to bump up the price of Xbox Live Gold to get people on Xbox Game Pass. And why, yeah, I know Xbox Game Pass has its benefits, and Xbox Game Pass has been good to me. I've been trying it out for a few months, but this was not a good idea for Microsoft to do that. At least Microsoft has Game Pass and a much extended backwards compatibility selection compared to the PlayStation 5, which PlayStation 5 only does anything released on PlayStation 4, and PlayStation 4 doesn't have backwards compatibility with even PlayStation 3. Alright, keep in mind of that. Alright, or you can go for the Nintendo Switch, a hybrid console, but Nintendo already did something stupid already, and the Nintendo Switch specs are about to be already outdated later down the line. Now, if you can go ahead and count all of the cease and desists, such as, for example, the Etika Joy-Cons and the limited run shenanigans, like, for example, Mario 3D All-Stars, yeah, that's Nintendo. Alright. Now, let's go ahead and tally stuff up all together. All three of your competitors, Nintendo, Sony, and Microsoft, has done fricked up. It's like they're trying to kind of like wind up. They're like competing for rock bottom or something. I don't know what the heck's going on. It's just. But, however, if you just go on over to the VR gaming scene, Oculus has been subject to some really concerning business decisions. Alright. Also, if you're looking to get a new game console, or for PC gamers, a new GPU, or even a new VR headset, good luck. Alright, you can account the pandemic causing complications due to productions of units, but it's also the fact that we are getting wrecked by scalpers. Alright, products in stock keep getting snatched by them, and these scalpers that keep on snatching up the stuff on stock, everything in stock, are asking for double the price. Even to this day, we are still yet to get more units without having it all bought out by these scalpers and somehow using them bots. With everything going down the shitter the way it is, like, you're stuck considering the following things that people have been doing to get around and still get their gaming fun. Like, people have been looking around for the indie game scene. The indie game scene is a really big thing, because when it comes to indie games, it is done by gamers for the sake of gamers. So if you're wanting to play games for the sake of playing games, if you want to play games for the sake of having fun or escapism, guess what? They're made by these people who strive for this kind of stuff, and they're made for you by them. Alright? People like you, they're for people like you, made by people like you, in a nutshell. Alright? Now, people have been also looking around in the adult game sections, such as your Nutakus, your Just USAs, your Denpasofts, your DL site adult sections. Alright? Like, when it comes to the adult games, you don't get hit up the ass with microtransactions, and developers take their sweet time and kind of like coming out with as much as they can and just putting their heart and soul into things. And you're not getting fucked up the ass with microtransactions at all. So, yeah, the adult game scene is essentially like your spicy games that carry the lovey-dovey stuff. But, however, at least they carry more gaming entertainment, even if it's like a visual novel. Like, you're not going to get fucked up the ass with microtransactions. They're not getting rushed out thanks to crunch time. They're just released when the developer is done with it, and they're not really much rushed out a lot of the times. And you're going to get more content that's not even censored at all. Alright, that's something you might want to consider. People have also got into retro gaming, whether it being Hamster's Arcade Archives or backwards compatibility on Xbox, or etc., whether it being from your cloned consoles such as your Retrons, that kind of make it easier for you to get a hold of your SNES carts and your NES carts and your Genesis carts. Alright, and then you have your little mini preloaded stuff, like you have your Nintendo NES, SNES minis, or you have, for Nintendo Switch owners who happen to have Nintendo Switch Online, like your NES and SNES libraries, like, available to you. Like, and all you just need to do is just pay the subscription price of your Nintendo Switch Online. That can be it. But there's also the Sega Genesis Mini. Alright, that's another thing. And I have Retrobit Super Retrocade, which comes with a lot of arcade build games, like arcade ROMs, like preloaded in that thing. I did an unboxing and reviewed that. Now, also, if you want to get an arcade cabinet, there's Arcade 1-Up. That's something. Now, the backwards compatibility on Xbox just makes everything easier, because when it comes to the backwards compatibility, like, if you want to be like an Xbox game collector and you want to start going through beginner mode, well, guess what? The series, if you are able to get your hands on the series, but if you do have an Xbox One, you're able to essentially play Xbox Classic to Xbox 360. Alright. Or when you're on the series, you're like, from Xbox Classic to Xbox One, yeah, that's like a big deal. Like, or basically, like, otherwise you're going to have to go through, like, the old-fashioned ways. If you want to play games like Otogi, like, you're going to have to get your hands on a classic Xbox console. Same thing can be said if you want to play Akai Katana, you're going to have to get your hands on an Xbox 360 itself. Because right now, like, Akai Katana and Otogi are not forwards compatible with Xbox One nor the series. And that's going to be something. Alright. Now, enough with the whole retro talk. Let's keep running going. Now, people are right now considering Xbox Game Pass. Now, I've tried Xbox Game Pass for like a couple of months, and I understand what Microsoft was trying to do, and I understand the benefits of Xbox Game Pass. But like I said again, that Xbox Live price increase stunt was not a good idea, not a brilliantly thought out idea. And what it does is that Game Pass, it just gives people plenty of games from left to right for subscription prices. So that's pretty interesting. So, yeah, like Xbox Game Pass, I've tried it out for 2 months. I was planning on doing like an extended discussion about the Game Pass in like a separate video. Yeah, I'm working on that one, so I'm just going to have to save it for another video. However, we're going to have to consider a couple of things in order to improve the gaming scene. Like, we are going to need new console competitors. Like, it would be nice to see a Dreamcast 2 or a new Neo Geo. Like, I think it's time we're going to have to start seeing, like, a fourth or fifth competitor in the console game scene. Because essentially, we're going to be hitting up like a situation where we're going to have to be like, instead of paying $60 for a game, we're going to have to be paying like $70 for a game, and then you have your season pass shenanigans and then your paywall stuff when it comes to the mainstream AAA industry. But considering where things are going, we're going to need like new console competitors. That's going to be something. However, speaking of new competitors, we're also going to have to consider a couple of alternative industry alternatives, so that way we won't rely heavily on the mainstream. And that seems to be our issue. The fact that we are relying too much on the mainstream stuff on the industry, and just when things go downhill, like, the entire games industry suffers really big, and it's just, that's kind of a thing. But really, if we kind of like consider these two things that we're probably going to want to consider, if not figure something else out that would help improve the gaming scene, because I hate to break it to you, gaming is in for like a long road of recovery, and a really long road at that. Like, the political and moral climate, the greed started to hurt the industry as well. Like, and the virus is not helping things at all. It's just pretty much making things more difficult. Anyway, that's going to be all for this lovely commentary video, and I will be looking forward to you in the next video. Peace out.